And now I'm joined by the EU Chief Election Observer, the head of the mission and a member of the EU Parliament, just to give us an insight of their observation pertaining to the electoral environment running up to today. Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks to you.
Yes, just to hear from you, from your assessment, how is the electoral environment running up to today?
First of all, let me remind that our electoral observation mission is composed by around 150 observers deployed all around the country, even in the rural areas, even in the most less accessible areas of the country, because we would like to have a real picture, landscape overall of the procedure, and we will be observing all the electoral cycle in its different phases. Today, especially the electoral day, the opening, the closing, the counting, and then even the transportation of all the already counted ballot papers together with all the relevant materials to the collation center. That's very important to ensure that we will monitor, that we will observe all the integrity of the whole process. This is in my observation mission. I have long-term observers, short-term observers, and also some staff of the EU member states embassies together with Norway, Switzerland, and Canada that also joined us in this common effort. And all the team is really following a very strict code of conduct that ensure impartiality of our commitment and our action here for this electoral observation mission. It's a bit too early to give a general evaluation of the process. What can I tell you is that from the reports we got so far of our observers spread all across the country, apparently around 30% of the polling stations were open with a significant delay, and some of them even 1.5 hours, even more, due to the lack of essential materials, not only in many cases the paper ballot themselves. We will continue to follow all the operation very closely, and we'll have additional information to share at a later stage. And you can all, this Friday, we will also have a press conference in which we will announce our preliminary statement with all the findings we have got and collect so far from our people on the ground, and in which of course we will also take into account some preliminary remarks on the legal framework, on the campaign and electoral environment, and in all relevant data and analysis that we have collected.
And how important is for the EU to be observing this election?
Of course, it's crucially important. We are here because we have been invited by the government of Zimbabwe to take part with our mission, the observation of the electoral process. So we didn't came here just by only by our will. It was, of course, an open invitation of the government, and we pay a lot of attention and commitment because we esteem that Africa is a crucial partner from the European Union as of course, a prominent continent, but not because we do believe in multilateralism, and we do believe in the importance of regional integration organizations. Zimbabwe is also an extremely important country in southern Africa, and therefore we deployed such an important structure with so many observers, and also with a core analyst team of 11 extremely professional, experienced analysts that are coordinating my efforts as chief observer.
Thank you very much. We'll continue to speak to you as the process goes on.
Thank you.
Just to come back to you, we have been speaking to the EU Chief Election Observer, the head of the mission, who is also an EU Parliament member, on what is going on up to this day. We will continue to give you updates as we go through the day.
Now we'll go to some rural areas to have a look also what's going on in the rural areas, and then I'll be back in town.
All right. But are you going to get into any of the polling stations?
Yes, we can do
Yes,
one.
we do. But since everybody is lined up, I propose the chief observer will give a brief statement, and then we will be going in. I'm not sure what your regulations are when it comes to cameras.
Yeah, we are allowed to go in. The only place that we can go is behind
The polling
we can
booths.
observe.
Okay. So, but if you want to have pictures of the chief observer observing, I kindly ask you to come in groups. So that we don't invade the polling station with about 25 people. So if you could come in 5 at a time maximum, take your picture, go out and allow the other ones to get some material as well. That would be appreciated. Otherwise we disturb the polling, which would not be in our interest and in the interest of the voters.
Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. My name is Fabio Massimo Castaldo, member of the European Parliament and Chief Observer of the European Union Electoral Observation Mission in Zimbabwe for those harmonized elections 2023. Today, as we foreseen, we deployed, we have our observers all across the country observing the electoral day, and all the single faces, of course, of this very important electoral day will be able to observe not simply the opening, the closing and the counting, but we pay a specific attention also to the collation of the data, and so we will observe also the transport of the paper ballots and all the relevant material to the collation centers as it is foreseen by the legal framework of Zimbabwe. Our observers are around 150. Among them we have long-term observers that have been deployed weeks ago to see also to assess the pre-electoral phase, including the electoral campaign and the electoral campaign environment. We do have short-term observers. We do have also some staff diplomats from the EU member states embassies together also with the additional French states, Canada, Norway, Switzerland that are also joining our efforts, and we send also additional resources to cooperate together with us. I would like to remind to all of you that we have an extremely strict code of conduct that is based on our long-lasting experience in the electoral observation mission, and of course that ensure a very strict and firm impartiality, objectiveness of our people on the ground. For what I can, it's maybe too early to give you insightful and detailed analysis, but so far all the reports that we are getting indicated that in around 30% of the polling station there were a significant delay in the opening procedures, delay that was very often linked to the lack of essential materials, notably in many cases paper ballots that didn't reach on time the police station itself. In some cases we do register also delay that were above 1 hour and a half. At the same time, of course, we will continue observing all these electoral day and also the post-electoral phases, so we will come back to you with additional informations and remarks at a later stage. I would like to remind also that this Friday we will have a press conference held by me and also the head of the delegation of members of the European Parliament taking part to the observation will take part too, and in this press conference we will share with all of you our preliminary assessments with our first draft and analysis, on which we will explain you not simply our point of view on the electoral day, of course, but also in all other phases we observed so far, including remarks on the legal framework, including remarks on the campaign environment, including remarks on the electoral environment, and all the other relevant pertinent information. I will continue myself personally to be deployed, not simply in Harare. I will also go outside to see the situation in the rural areas surrounding Harare, and our people are really widespread all across the country. We are observing even the most remote area, the most difficult to access in the country, to really have a clear view, a very complete inclusive view on what is the situation in the different parts. We are in all the 10 districts, and of course that will give us the possibility to have a significant amount of analysis to manage and handle with the most complete possible way this mission. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you. So we would be going inside now, and as I said, if
I have a question. I've seen that the EU has shown some serious interest in the rural communities this time around. What has been the reason for it? You seem to have shown some serious commitment, even in your press conference, where you said you want to get into the rural hinterland to see how people are voting there. What's the reason for that? I haven't been doing that.
I think that it's very important to have a general overview of the whole country. Of course, urban areas are normally much more accessible, both for observers than also for medias. In rural, we have to pay additional significant efforts for logistics, for example, to reach them and deploy people on the ground. But still, they are a very important component of the country, and we want to have all these analyses, all these reports totally on board to ensure that the overview we will have of the whole electoral process and the whole electoral cycle will be a complete one, not missing a very important part that normally is, as I told you, less easily accessible for the observers and also for the media. That's why also we paid this effort to cover in a very balanced and in a very widespread way all the country in all the 10 districts, both in urban and rural areas.
But over 60% of the people are actually in the rural areas. Are you going to factor in that when you do the overall thing, or most of your observations will be based on the rural, on the urban experience?
Of course, we have a very experienced coordination for deployment of long-term observers and short-term observers, and when we are deploying and organizing the deployment of the team, we are taking into account also the demographic aspect to ensure that in general the coverage will be very balanced and will have no gaps, no vacuums that are not properly observed. We do the best we can, taking into account also Zimbabwe is a very big country in terms of surface and population, and we have 150 observers that is already putting us as the biggest mission deployed on the ground for these elections.
All right, well, thank you for your questions. We would be going in now because it will take some time to get all of you the opportunity to take some photographs, to get some footage. So we would be just starting in the first one.
Let me just introduce us and
Can I ask? We cannot obstruct the voting, so you've got to leave some space. Everybody will get a shot, but please 5 in here and then the next 5. Please wait outside so that the people can actually vote. We do not want to be any obstacle to the process. Thank you very much.
Then I will put, of course, the timeouts. Thank you very much.
No, I don't need the number. I just need your ID. Thank you. I just need your ID, my dear. Because they say no. Okay, there you go. No, I just need your ID. Thank you.
You're making we will not say that, but it's at least one of the words.
I would suggest we stand support the